Okay, everyone, I am back. I wanted to do a video about my earthquake dreams, which I had I had one of them in October, where we were still in the hospital. We were back, as you can see, my son and I, if you don't know the background history. And I had my other dream, I want to say it was December, early part of December, if not the late part of November. And in the first dream, I think there were three dreams, but I don't remember the third one. But anyhow, one of them was a really short dream. I was traveling somewhere I'd never been before. I was in California though. It's a place I don't know, like in real life. But and I'm kind of whispering because my son is asleep here, and I don't want to really wake him up. He's trying to rest, so hopefully you can hear me. But anyhow, I was traveling somewhere, and it looked like it could have been. I think it was early in the morning. It was a Saturday because there was a class going on at this community center, and I saw this family leaving. They had something for the adults and then something for the kids, something fun like dance or something. And I remember thinking, oh, I'll have to check into, I didn't know they had classes this early, and then I'll have to check into that for my daughters and stuff. So, but anyhow, I looked off in the distance, like to the left. I think we were getting ready to leave. I went there to talk to somebody about something, and then I talked to them really quickly, and then I left. And I looked at the sky, and the sky was orange. It was like it wasn't even like smog. It was just like a haze, but like a really orangey haze. And I remember hearing like a man's voice saying, "Utter destruction will cover this land." And that was like what I was saying was like a smoke, if you will, like a orangey, hazy smoke, and it was covered, descending like from the ground, like there was some type of destruction going on, and I couldn't see what it was. I felt like it was related to an earthquake in the dream. You know how you know things in a dream. And after I heard there was like utter destruction will cover this land, and something along the lines of like great weeping and a lot of deaths. And then I woke up, and I was like, whoa, you know. I was doing a lot of research on earthquake videos after I had my first dream. I think it was 2010, January 2010, when I had my first dream about a major quake hitting LA. And I did a lot of research after that, and then when I had my second dream, January 2012, I think it's when I had the second one. Like, if not to the day, like 2 years, if not to the very day. And I did more research, but my son got sick. Like, he was diagnosed with cancer, so July of 2012. So I've been dealing with that since then. And I still would look up earthquake stuff, but it got to the point where I was scaring myself, so I backed off from that, and just took a break. I needed a break. And I never made any of my videos to scare anybody, to strike fear in anyone's heart. It's far from what I was trying to do. I just thought the dreams were interesting, and that if you live in California or other places where you're earthquake prone, that it would help to think about it and be prepared. What if you live through the quake? If it's going to be as bad as what it sounds like, a lot of people aren't going to make it. But what if you do? Then you have to think about the reality that you can't say I'm going to have water to drink if the water lines are cut off, and you're not going to have electricity and gas and stuff like that. So those are just things I was just hoping that, like for myself, we took note, my family took note, we got prepared. We're not prepared now. So much has happened, and you eat your canned goods, kids start playing with the flashlights, emergency flashlights. And I'm laughing, but I mean, so when that happens, like when we get out of here, that's my goal, is to get restocked up on stuff. I want to move out of state. That hasn't happened because every time I try to, I have a setback here with the hospital. So either we're going to be gone when it comes, or we'll be here and God will just see us through it, or we'll be in glory. So I'm not going to worry about it, stress out about it. But the second dream that I had was I was riding in seems like LA, like the hills of LA, which when I think about it, I thought about it earlier this morning because I've been wanting to do this video. I was going to do it yesterday, didn't have the time, but you guys turning over. But I had this dream. I was driving through the hills of Hollywood, and I was looking at all these big, older homes. Some of them were big and beautiful. Some of them had been refurbished, and some of them had not been. But there's a lot of classic, like Spanish-style homes, and I saw one, and I was looking at it. It was vacant. It must be sell. And I remember thinking, that would be a nice house to fix up. I think it was like $600,000 or something. I was thinking by the time that house would be like, could be like, by the time someone fixes it up and really puts work into it, it could be beautiful, and you could sell it for well over $1 million. You know, I was thinking that'd be nice, and I said, oh yeah, I can't because the earthquake is coming. It'll destroy it anyway. And I mean, the hills were like, we had to be in Hollywood Hills or something, like somewhere over that way, like Beverly Hills or something, because it was like the homes in it wasn't like the main, like if you've been in Los Angeles, it is hilly, but this was like different, like it was the hills, you could tell you in the hills. And we were driving down towards the city of LA, and I was riding, the driver of the car was my dad, and usually when I see my dad in the train, it generally represents the Lord, like my Heavenly Father. And there was another gentleman in the car, in the front seat, and I was riding in the back. And I remember seeing all these hills, and I said, we're actually riding over the fault. I said, we're on the fault now. I said, how scary. And I said, people have no idea. I said, I said, no, I can't buy that house. I said, this is where the quake is going to hit. And then we got to the bottom of the hill, and we started to round this corner. And then I saw this big body of water. It was beautiful. And I said, I didn't know this was here in the city. And there was a big body of water. And I looked at it. I said, oh, wait a minute. I told my dad. I started to ask him. I said, this is that. I was trying to remember the name of the lake, the body of water that it was. And I said, oh yeah, this is the Salton Sea. I said, this is where the other quake is going to hit. And I saw that, and I believe that's what I said. It's been like a month or so since I've had this dream. But I remember saying, oh yeah, this is the other one, the Salton Sea. And I was pointing out to the man in the front seat. I said, yeah, there are underwater volcanoes there. They're called buttes. And there's one of them now. You can see one of them. And I said, yeah, this is where the fault starts. The San Andreas fault starts. I said, this is where the other quake, this is the other part of it. Like there were pieces, connected pieces. And, but that they both were going to happen, and that they both weren't going to be far apart from each other. And then I woke up. And so it's been, like I say, like maybe a little over a month or so since I had those dreams, and I didn't even have time to make a video about it or think about it even, you know, because I've had so much going on. And so, dreams, they're dreams. You know, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I was researching. I almost forgot to point this out. And there was an article that came out just the other day, because I look at it every day on the news website, KABC Los Angeles news website, to get the weather report. And something caught my eye about some building plans were halted because of the release of the new Hollywood fault map. And apparently they found this fault, the Hollywood fault, they mapped it out, and there's a big, like, $1 million or $1 billion project that's going on right now to build some skyscraper and some other buildings. And the people that, of course, the developers are saying, no, there's no earthquake fault. We don't have any proof that there's an earthquake fault. But yet this map is showing that's a preliminary map, but it could stop progress of this building. And then I found this article the next day. This is from LA Times. The headline is, this is Jerry Brown. You can type this in if you like. Earthquakes just around the corner. Fault maps needed. So, and he was saying, I don't know if it was this article or another one, where someone was saying that the last great, that we're definitely due for something, whether it's a big one or something else. Because an earthquake was not on San Andreas fault, I don't think, but that was a 6.7 that caused major damage. But Governor Jerry Brown of California was saying that he's going to increase funding to develop fault maps, because there are fault maps in California, but I don't think they've been updated. I was looking at some that were pretty old, and it was saying that they're calling, quote, this effort an important public safety measure. He said, we'll do whatever it takes, and the people of LA should be cautious because earthquakes are just around the corner. We know that anyway from living here, but the thing was, they had a live chat at 9 o'clock that morning. It says how earthquake fault maps affect LA development. And I found, like, even there's a map you can zoom in on the San Andreas fault, and you can see where the fault is, and homes are literally sitting on the fault. There's a Walmart that I've been to in the city called Highland, and it sits right on top of the San Andreas. And a lot of times it makes you wonder, like, why haven't they done these fault maps sooner, or why don't they want to do them? Because it's money. You know, homes, real estate is expensive. And if you say that there's a fault under something, then no one's going to want to live on top of a fault or near a fault. So then what happens? Then people lose out on money. Investors and real estate developers and businesses, they lose out on the big bucks. But is it really worth people's lives in the end? There's another article here, and I'll follow the link at another time. It says, a Times investigation, LA Santa Monica buildings may sit atop quake faults, and it's more than just LA and Santa Monica. It's more than Hollywood. It's all, California is littered or riddled or whatever the word is. There are faults all over the place. Some are active, some are inactive, some are little, some are large. But and again, I'm not trying to scare everybody because these things may not ever go off in your lifetime. But it's just I don't know. I know with the world's returning, things are going to happen closer and closer. And like I say, it's been since 1994 since California has suffered a big fault, and Southern San Andreas is way overdue. I did a video about that, and I've done some research on it since, and it's some pretty scary stuff. So, one other thing too is the San Onofre nuclear plant. I had thought about that right before my last earthquake June, I think it was, when I saw an article on it. I found out since that they have been plagued with problems for the longest time, and they finally stopped operating. They were inoperative a year ago, I believe the article was saying, but now they're going to decommission. They're shutting down for good. But here's my thought: even if they shut the plant down, aren't the nuclear reactor components still in the units? And how safe is that? Like if you were to have a quake, there have been a lot of cases of kids coming down with cancer and grown-ups too. And I wonder. I remember hearing on the news one day, CNN, that the nuclear pelt finally reached us from Japan. And that I wonder, did it have to do with a lot of the cases of cancer, including my son? So it made me delve even more into the San Onofre nuclear plant thing, and I found here that one of the units was already retired. Unit 1 ran from 1968 to 1992, and then on June 7, 2013, Southern California Edison, which owns the plant, said that they were permanently retire the last two units, Unit 2 and Unit 3, because they weren't sure. Like they designed it recently, like to last another 20 years or so, but however, some of the parts that they used were defective and they wore out early, and so that of course puts the public at an unsafe risk. And not only that, there were other problems. Workers, there were some whistleblowers who were threatened. They said they allegedly were threatened if they spilled any of the beans, and so they were talking about maintenance issues and cover-ups and the plant not being safe. And that was built to withstand like a 7.0 quake, and there's I think a 5-foot tsunami wall. And there is a fault that was like 5 miles off the shore that is active. There's one, the closest one that said it's dead or inactive. But still, it just made me, after the Japan nuclear reactor, it just made me wonder. So, and there's still another one, the Diablo power plant. I think that's near like Redondo Beach or Palos Verdes, if you know the Southern California area. If you don't, you can look it up on a map. But someone was saying these are just two, let me see if I can read to the quote. It says that these are disasters. The former head of the California Power Authority, in one article by a man named Mr. Freeman, said that disasters are waiting, that the San Onofre and Diablo Canyon plant are disasters waiting to happen. Aging, unreliable reactors sitting near earthquake fault zones on the fragile Pacific coast with millions or hundreds of thousands of Californians living nearby. So, and he said that I just remember what I was trying to say earlier, that even if they stop like operating this plant, San Onofre, how long does it take or how do they empty out the nuclear reactors? And this says the company stated that full retirement of the units prior to decommissioning will take some years in accordance with customary practices. Actual decommissioning will take many years until completion. So I don't know if decommissioning means to take it apart, but I know like retirement of units, it's going to take time. They can't just say, oh, the plant shut down and turn off the switch overnight and it's done. It's going to take some time. So this will be interesting to watch and follow. I pray that they said this plant is not at risk of being affected, like the core being affected unless we had a super size of like a really large size event, but only God knows. And again, I don't want to strike fear. I don't mean to strike fear, but it's just interesting, especially with what happened with Japan. And we know that we're overdue. And seeing like my son when you get the cancer and all these cases of kids, maybe I'm just hearing about cases because I'm in this, like we're at the hospital, but I have friends, even not even here, that said, oh, pray for me. We were praying for your son and we found my niece has cancer, or a friend of a friend has cancer. It's like I don't know if maybe they're just in this world and I'm hearing it more or what, I don't know. But anyway, Again, if something else comes up, or I have a dream, or I find something else, I will share it with you. Now that I'm at the hospital, I don't have to go home for a couple of days. I miss my girls, but I've been giving them calls so I can talk with them. But I'll try to see if I can put that video together because I went out and got footage. Just like, just driving on the freeway, but you can see the San Andreas Fault, how close it is to homes and where I used to live. And oh my gosh. So you can actually see it's cool to actually drive on the fault and say, this is it. This is the monster that's waiting to happen. So anyhow, I'm at 15 minutes. Didn't realize that because I was on a different screen. So I'm going to cut it off here. But thanks, guys, for hanging with me and taking the time to hear what I have to say. Sorry about all the previous side effect sounds that you're hearing on here. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but as soon as I'm able, I will buy a new one. This is like the crappiest computer, but at least I can do my research on the internet, and hopefully you can hear some of what I said. So God bless you guys, and give your life to Christ. Tomorrow's not promised. He is real, his coming is real, and the afterlife is real, and nothing else that we do in this life will matter except what we do for Christ and who we belong to, which is him. So give your heart to the day, accept the Lord Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. I've seen him do a miracle in healing my son with cancer. We're back for other issues, but the doctors are calling him a miracle. The nurses thought that he should have been dead, that he should not have walked out of his hospital. I've seen God work firsthand for myself and know that he's real, and nobody can tell me otherwise. But God bless you, and until next time, peace be with you.